Ginger Running. I'm here tonight with the amazing Ida Nilsson. Hey, Ida.
Hello, everyone.
She's an ultra trail runner and she's also the co-author of the Moonvalley Diaries, which she's co-written with Emily Forsberg and Mimi Kotka. So I'm thrilled to have Ida here tonight with us. How are you doing today, Ida? What have you been up to?
Yeah, very good. I have been, first I went to the gym, went biking there, and maybe not so fun, but it was a good workout. And then went for a small hike, and now I actually cooked a really nice dinner with friends. We made homemade pasta with pumpkin and some hazelnuts and mushrooms. That was amazing. Very good.
Lovely. Well, that sounds like an excellent day to me. Fantastic. I just thank you very much for joining us, and hello to everybody on the live chat as well. We've got some people saying good evening to you here tonight, Ida, so that's fantastic. Everyone's really excited about you being on. So before we talk about your most recent accomplishment, which is obviously this absolutely beautiful book, which we'll come on to in a bit, just want to get a bit of background really. So when did you start running in the first place, and why did you start?
I started very early. Like my parents were runners and did for my local club. So I just came with them, and when there was a kids race, I did that, and I did all track and field events like in my home club there. So, and with some other sports as well. So I think I did my first race when I was 5 years old, and
Wow.
then I just kept running. Like it was a fun thing to do with the family and with other kids in the club.
And did you enjoy it then? Like you say, it was quite family orientated. There was lots of friends there. Was it really enjoyable all the time?
Yeah, I think it's. First I did everything, like I said, all events and other sports, and then I think like when I got older, maybe around 10 years old, and you already start to notice like you're better in running than some other events, and I I just started to run more and more, and all the way like through high school, and university.
Awesome. And I'm just gonna, you're gonna be probably too modest to say all of these things, but you were really good at running, and you won the 500 meters at the Swedish Championships. You won that several times, and you won the steeplechase, the 3,000 meter steeplechase, 4 times in the early 2000s, and you also won at both these events at the NCAA Indoor and Outdoor Championships in the USA, and you've won and podiumed at countless Swedish 4K, 8K and 10K championships. And you've also set a Swedish national record at the steeplechase of 3,000 metres. So congratulations, what a brilliant start a career in running.
I think that was very nice years for me. I both loved high school and university in US. I was located in Flagstaff, which was great for running, and it was really fun years, and I was improving. And then when I thought like I was going to take the next step, because in my I always wanted to be like a good runner and a professional runner, and I started to have a lot of problems. I felt I didn't really reach my potential in the track events. Like I think I could have run faster. I'm glad for the things I did, but it kind of stopped around when I was 25 years old, and when I wanted to really start developing, I got a lot of problems instead.
Yeah, that's really sad. So you got an injury, didn't you? What happened there with the injury?
Yeah, actually, I had a lot of injuries, like a lot of troubles for many years, and since up to 25 years old, I had a pretty good all the years, like no injuries. It went well all the time, and then I think it I started to come in a bad circle instead. Like you have an injury and get back a little bit too quickly, and then something else came up. But I was always determined to come back, and I came back strong, but short amount of times. And then when I finally quit, it was 2010. Because I had a stress fracture in the hip joint and it wouldn't heal. So I think then my option was to quit running or to try to make a surgery. And the surgery was was not straightforward. It's more an experiment. And then I felt like, oh, maybe if it doesn't work, maybe I can't even walk later in life. And then I felt like it's better I quit running, and hopefully I can do other activities. And that's what I did for many years. It actually took like 4 years to heal the hip. And the first year, everything was in pain pretty much, even walking and biking. But after a while, like everything except running was fine. I could bike and go on long hikes or skiing. And I got more into like doing outdoor lives. So I enjoy that a lot, like to just be outside in the mountains and go camping and that kind of like, low key, like outdoor life.
Yeah, so is that how you coped with it then? Just staying outdoors and doing different activities?
Yes, I feel because, of course, like the first year was really tough. Like I missed running a lot, and I missed to. I mean, it's also hard to have chronic pain, like to always be in pain. It's not very nice for them, for your mood either. Yeah. But I mean, after a few years, like I mean, you always I adapt, and I tried to do the best of it, and I always like to be outside and in nature, and felt like started to have a pretty good life again, and. And do things I enjoyed.
Brilliant. Well, you seem like a really positive and happy person, and things have worked out way better for you. But I'm just going to read out some things from the live chat just to make you even happier here, because we've got loads of people writing in. So Robin Townsend says, "Good evening, guys." We've got Carl Southgate says hello, and he says Ida is awesome, yay. And John Gardner says greetings, Ida and Ida fans. And then we've got in Swedish from Guy Greatorex, we've got hej, hoppas att du har det bra, Ida. Did I pronounce that right? Do you know what I was saying?
Yeah, you're really good at Swedish. You're a natural. It's perfect.
What did I say? Can you translate it for me?
Yeah, no, it was just hope you're having a nice evening.
Yeah.
That you have,
Oh, cool. Okay, so that was from Guy Greatorex. He hopes you're having a nice evening. That's absolutely brilliant, Guy. Thank you very much. Kurt Steege has got loads of questions for you later, and he says, "Woohoo! I made it." And Abby Norman says, "Hey, Ida." She's written that the hey in Swedish as well. We've got lots of obviously fluent Swedish speakers watching tonight. Antonio Cardinelli says, "Hello, Ida, Claire, and everybody." Sally Gilson says, "Hi, really looking forward to this." Michael Stendel says, "Hi, everyone." And Kurt Steege says, "Hi, everyone." So we've got loads of people watching on the live chat. Nice. So just to add to the positivity, which I'm already sensing from you. So you became injured, and then you were coping with that, and then what got you into trail running? Because you've had some real successes, which I'll go through in a minute, with trail and ultra running. So how did you suddenly find, I can't do track, but I can do trail?
Yeah, it's like I said, I didn't run at all for that, like 4 years, around 4 to 5 years, and then I did an outdoor education, like a guide program up a little bit in Sweden, and that was right about the time when I could start to run a little bit again, and then it was like more natural to run more up trails and mountains, but still, like I didn't do too much. Like now when I look back, I was mostly like doing flat things because I have never done that, like to run really steep or technical. I got into ski mountaineering, so it was actually to brought me more to trail running and ultras as well. And I got a job way north in Sweden when I finished this year, and I worked as a guide, and it was nice. But I also started to train more by myself, and I think it was like there was like, okay, I like to be outside and have that as a job, to take people outside, but I actually like way more to be moving by myself a lot, and then I felt like when my body started to respond again, and I wasn't hurt, that I wanted to train more again and try to be more an athlete again, and not just this like recreational runner. Or so that was how I started with. I did a few races in ski mountaineering and thought that was really fun, and I was like, I would like to learn this sport properly. And that was the same time I met Emily for the first time. Like, she did a race up there, and it looked so cool, because ski mountaineering is not a sport. You don't see it on TV. You don't really know so much about it as cross-country skiing, which is super big in Sweden. So I thought that was really nice to see her and Kilian like at the race, how it looks like when you're doing it really well. And I was like, oh, maybe I will spend one winter in Chamonix and try to learn this sport a little bit better, so I can do more races, because down there it's a big sport, and it would be nice to try to do some of the World Cups for Sweden. So I did that for one winter, and got to train with Emily, and I mean, it was a super hard first lap. I wasn't in very good shape after many years, like with not elite training, and then also a new sport for me. But it was a really good way to get in shape again, and I learned a lot that winter and did a lot of races. And so it was after that I did my first ultra trail at Transvulcania. So it was actually through first the ski mountaineering, and then I became in that more sky running and those kind of races. Otherwise, I think that transition had gone much slower, and because my first summer back, that was 2015, I did a little bit of everything. I did one ultra who's 90k, like the Ultravasan in Sweden, but I also did like road races, 10k. I did a little bit of everything, because I wasn't set on I'm going to just do trails or ultras, or I mean, I still do I jump into 10Ks on the road, and I did one of the Swedish cross country. I still like all kinds of running, but I think that switch became much faster when I had immediate success in Transvulcania in that sky race, and that I got into the longer races and the ultras. So that was how that worked out.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because prior to doing the trail running and the ultra running, you'd only really run 10k maximum, hadn't you? So I've got a question from Kurt Steege. He wants to know if you used any of your track workouts from your sort of track and your cross-country days to train for things like Transvulcania. Is it similar training, or is it completely different?
No, actually, I mean, of course I had some use of that. I have been an elite athlete, and I'm used to train hard and twice a day. So, and that I think you can transfer to all sports. And when you want to become good at something, to have a work ethic, and you used to use your body. So of course and it's still an endurance sport, but of course it was new for me that to train more hours and maybe longer, because when you do track you don't really count hours, more your mileage, and to do specific workouts and times. And now to have a little bit more training hours. So I think for the ultras, it was more like to learn to do long runs. I mean, I had quite short of time for my first ultra was the 90k in Sweden, who's a flat race, and I got thrown into that the day before. That was not a race I planned for or had trained for, so that was also a transition, I think, went way quicker, just because now I couldn't worry too much. I got thrown into it the day before, and then it went quite well, and I noticed that, okay, actually it's possible to run this far, and I did a lot of mistakes, and I can do it way better, and it wasn't that bad. So I've done, and then the next one was with more elevation. Then the next year, Transvulcania. So for that, I had 10 days on the island before the race. So I actually just started because I was straight from a winter when I hadn't run too much, and I needed to get some more time in my legs. So I just started to do a long run each day until I felt I didn't break down and I didn't get like energy deficiency or anything like. So I wouldn't recommend that tactic. That you like start to train 10 days before an ultra and then to keep doing a long run until you think you're fine, and then I just rested until the race was time. But that was my tactic first, to try to just feel like that was fine to run for 3 or 4 hours in a pretty good pace.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting training, but it obviously worked, because you've won the Transvulcania 3 times now since 2016 to 2018, and it's 45 miles long. So to come from doing the 10Ks then to come to doing ultras is absolutely fantastic. And you've since won the Marathon de Mont Blanc, the Swiss Alpine Marathon, the Gamma. You came 8th at Sierre-Zinal last year, 3rd at the CCC. You set an FKT at the Grand Canyon, rim to rim, and then this year you won the Coastal Challenge and set a new course record over there in Costa Rica, and you came 2nd overall. So I think you found your thing. Hey, like, this is even better than the track running. You're coming first all the time and podiuming.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, you can the body can adapt. Like you can manage what you train for to be like if you're a little bit specific. It's fun to try different things, and like now this spring I wanted to do a road marathon, so I trained for that. So then I started to throw in some more old workouts, like with more speed, but also some more specific marathon workouts, and I think it worked out great. I was in good shape, but then unfortunately I got injured during the race, so now I haven't run in over 6 months since then. But it's fun to try different things and different distances and surfaces. And
do you think it was the road racing and the getting back to that fast-paced road racing that made you have that injury then?
No, I think like I did a little bit too much of everything different. Like when you have a good plan and then I didn't really stick to it. Maybe it became a little bit too much the last month. So I think the total load, and it's always a balance, like to try to be like better as an athlete, or to not break down, because when you more safe, it's maybe you have like different space, but then maybe you can't do the top results either. And I felt now for a few years I had just been racing a lot, and I didn't really have time to improve too much. It was just to keep racing and keep trying to win or trying to do good results, but I didn't feel like I was improving. And for me, that's important thing, to have time to train and also try to prove and do things. So I think that was great for me. But I of course now after, it's easy to say I overdid it, but it was close to do it really well, and then I had been good instead. So it's also always easy to see after. It's like, okay, that was stupid, but it could have gone well, and then people would have said, "Oh, that was so nice! Like you could do a good road time." And it's it's not easy to always do the right thing.
Yeah, it is really hard, isn't it? But when you get back into your running, we've got a question from Arleen Matelock, and she says, will you be doing more races in the USA in the future? Because you won the Crown King Scramble 50k and got a new course record on that this year as well. So and you also came first in the Monument Valley Half Marathon as well. So are you gonna go back to the USA and do any more races when you recover from your injury, do you think?
Yeah, I really like to go back to stuff and train, and now I have gone back like every year. I think the last 3 or 4 years actually, because I lived there for 4 years for university, and then I came back a few times after, and then I wasn't back in 8 years when I didn't run. I didn't want to go back, and now it's so fun to go back there because the place just exploded. It's like trail runners, ultra runners, road runners, track runners, and it's a good place to train. And I also like the races in US. So I've done the North Face 50 twice, and I hope I can do a big race in US next year, hopefully, if everything works out with the injury and I can get back in time. So I have some plans on some races there.
Cool. We'll all be following you on Instagram and tracking your progress. And I'm also interested to know, Kurt Steege is interested to know actually, do you keep up with your old team then from the US in Northern Arizona? Because he says they've been amazing in the last few years. Do you still meet up with them? I meet up with some people still lives up there, so I always meet up with them. And now with social media, like a few of them, I know what they do, where they're living. And then also, I keep checking. Like I'm super excited. I have such a good team there now, and I know the coach Mike Smith is doing a really good job. So that's super exciting to see. They have won 3 times in a row. So I try to, even though I don't really know personally the people now in the team, I still try to keep up and see how they're doing. Awesome. That is fantastic. And I am just going to, Kurt Steege says thanks very much for that, by the way. And then I've got another comment in Swedish that I'm going to try and read out to you again from Jimmy Hellstrom. And he says, Grattis, I hope this isn't rude, by the way, because I have no idea. Grattis till boken och hoppas du blir bättre I foten och vill fortsätta kuta på elitnivå. Any idea?
It's like congrats for the book, and he hopes that my foot will heal up. So that was a nice, thank you very much.
Great. Actually, he's put it just below. So he says, congratulations on the book. I hope you get well with the foot and that you want to continue to run at elite level still. Fantastic. That's great. And Kurt Steege says, thank you so much, Ida, for the info, and loving that you do all these different distances. It's always good to train and learn from great athletes like you. So that's amazing. Fantastic. So now I just want to switch the conversation to nutrition, because you trained as a cook and you've been really involved with the team here with Emily Forsberg and Mimi Kotka in writing this absolutely amazing book. I'm just going to show people some of the beautiful, beautiful illustrations as well in this book. Look at that. It's just absolutely magical, this book. These beautiful watercolour pictures, and it's packed full of advice from Ida and Mimi and Emily, all about how you should train and eat during your year so that you're in sync with the seasons. So So yeah, Ida, how did you get involved with Moonvalley in the first place? How did it all start?
Yes, I think I came to Emily moved to Norway first, and then I came in and visited a little bit later in the winter, and I didn't live anywhere at the moment. It was after I had lived in France for a winter, and it's a beautiful place to live and train here, and to be in Sweden have maybe less good places with that many mountains and elevation. You want to train well for both skiing and running. I got to live in their house for a few years, and she was already growing things, and I helped her with the garden, and we have kind of the same interest with picking things and trying to store as much as possible, like in the basement and in the freezers, and to try to live some quite simple. And we're traveling and gone a lot, but then when you're home, you want to have this really close connection to the place and to where you are. And it's I think it's a big interest of both me and Emily and Mimi, so that was why that was a big part of the book. We wanted to have that how you can easily just be a little bit more in tune with the season and and follow it, and you don't have to make it complicated really. It's everything grows pretty much outside, even if you don't even grow your own vegetables, it's a lot of wild things as well you can use, and to just be a little bit more mindful and connected.
It sounds absolutely fantastic, and just reading through the book, it's just beautiful seeing you're with spades in your hand 1 minute and picking some things 1 minute and then out running in the mountains the next minute. How important is it to eat seasonal food for runners to maintain good performance?
I think it's not the biggest thing to perform well. For us, I think it's more to we do it primarily because that's feels good to live that way. Even if I didn't run, that's how I would like to eat and live. It's not that I eat this way because it makes me a better runner. I would rather go to McDonald's or eat chili. I eat the way I like to eat, either if I'm active or not. So, and then I'm glad that I like food that is wholesome and proper and the real food, because that's good for my training as well. But if you see to performance, there is people who perform well who eat maybe you be according to a nutrition book, but I think in long term, if people will feel better, of course, if you eat real food, and also to have a pleasure to actually I picked this and I created something to be a little bit more creative and that we can actually eat so much around wild things, but also to grow things is amazing, to actually do that thing, to dig up the dirt and to put the seed in and see it growing. And it doesn't need to be much, but to have that potato or the carrot, and I think that would make people also appreciate different tastes, and it's okay, it can actually taste really really nice, these veggies and this wild greens or whatever. So that's I think the big part to do it if there is interest for you. It's not to do, of course, if you say, oh, I think this is super boring, and
yeah no, it doesn't sound boring at all. It sounds amazing. I'm sure everybody wants their own little plot in their garden, because my mum grows a lot of her own vegetables in an allotment, and it just tastes so much nicer. The cucumbers she grows, they're really big with hard skins and they've got prickles on, but they taste so cucumbery. It's a lot better than what you can get in the shop tops. And a couple of people are wondering about your diet here, and they're just wondering, John Moisey says, are you completely plant-based? And if so, or have you done any other diets than, like, have you been a vegan, or are you plant-based mainly, or how long have you been doing any kind of diet like that for?
Yeah, like my the base of my diet, and I would say to 90% is plant-based, and then because I don't feel very well to be a vegan or a vegetarian. Like I need to, I got really bad iron, so because I think I've tried for some months and it doesn't really work for me. So I add a few times like some fish or meat, and if I take meat, I try to have this like more wild or organic meat, like and choose maybe liver and some parts that gives me the things I need. Like so I add some things like that, and cheese and yogurt and eggs, like but the base is, I think, it's always a lot of veggies, fruit and beans, and bread and grains, and then that's the extra some other things. But I eat everything. I never had a certain diet, like or certain things I can't that allergies or anything. So
just eat mainly plants, and then a bit of fish and meat whenever you need to top up that iron.
Yes.
Just about the book quickly, we've got a question from Helen B. She says, does the book have many ideas for vegetarians like her? So are there a lot of vegetarian recipe ideas in the book?
Yeah, everything is... most of the recipes are vegan, and then sometimes vegetarian. And if it's a vegetarian recipe, it's always like, okay, you can choose between like oat milk or regular milk, for example, if it's a recipe for cinnamon buns. But almost all the recipes are actually vegan in the book.
Fantastic. Oh, that's good for Helen to know. I'm sure she'll be off to buy that book for Christmas. And I was just wondering, I know there's probably great advice in the book about what you can grow, but in your opinion, what are like the top 3 things that we could try to grow first if we've never grown any plants before to eat?
I would say potatoes. Like potatoes is amazing. They grow all over, and it's so good. Like potatoes is my favorite. Like I think last year me and Emma, we had like 4 patches with potatoes. We had like so much potatoes in the basement. I think all the way to actually to the summer we had potatoes the whole winter and spring. But that's really good. And actually then if you start growing potatoes next year, the dirt is really good then, and then you can grow other things there. But otherwise, after that, I would say I think it's really nice to have carrots and beets, like the root veggies. And of course, it's easy to grow like salad or rucola or these things that grows quick, or spinach. Kale is super nice now, wintertime, because it lasts a long time. You can have a kale all the way to December. It could be some kale worms. Sometimes you need to take care of them, but I would say the absolutely easiest is potatoes. Start with that if you don't know anything.
I think even I've grown potatoes before by putting an old potato on the compost heap, and then you discover when you're spreading the compost that you've somehow grown all these potatoes. So they're like the easiest things.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah, I love the sound of the beans and the carrots as well, and the kale. It just sounds really lovely to be able to put all that different variety of colours on your plate and know that it's come from your own garden. It just sounds incredible.
Yeah, it is, yes.
And so I've got another question from Kurt Steege. He's asking a lot of questions today. You're very popular. So he says, what is your favourite evening meal during the winter, which helps you to keep training hard?
I think wintertime I eat a little bit more, warm, like hard, like dense food. Like I love like stews. It's really nice with just like a bean stew, and I like potatoes a lot. Like that yes to put in the oven, like sliced potatoes or boiled with like some salt and a little bit of everything, like bean patties. We make a lot, like salad. Root veggies is super nice. Stews.
Yeah, and that pasta with pumpkin that you were talking about that you had last tonight.
That was really good. But that was the first time I made pasta, because I'm a quick cook. Like usually I come home and I'm super hungry and tired, and I want to do stuff that takes like 10 minutes. That's the most. So then it's always these quick things like I do. But this time was super nice with friends to actually make pasta and do that nice dishes. So that's
made the pasta.
Treat once in a while.
I did.
Yeah, we made the pasta by ourselves. So the tortellini. So we made in the inside was mushrooms and hazelnuts, and then we had pumpkin sauce, so that was really nice.
Really?
But that's like a treat. I never cook for 2 hours usually, a normal like
I know
dinner.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is she's a home economics teacher, so she taught cooking to school children, and so she had a pasta maker, and she came round and she taught me how to make pasta earlier in the year, and it takes ages, and I was so hungry by the time we were cooking the pasta that I was actually trying to eat bits raw. Just don't do that. It's not nice.
It's not a good thing to start when you're hungry.
yeah, but it's really cool making your own pasta. Like the taste of that pasta is so much better than what you get in the shops. So it's really good.
Totally.
And then so Moonvalley is also a nutrition company, isn't it? You've got various energy bars and chocolates and things that you sell as well. So Adrian Camilleri, he would like to know, does your cooking training help you with your pre-race and post-race nutrition? Like, has it helped you to create new race foods that kind of store well and travel better? Because he's just talking about the fact that gels are just sometimes quite not very appetizing, and maybe you've created some better, more personalized race food and things to eat after the race as well.
No, I think like before the race, I just eat like normal, whatever serves like at the race I'm at. Like I'm not a person who needs like have something really specific. It's just to eat a little bit extra, and then during racing, I actually I take gels a lot, like in a sports drink, and that's why it was nice. Now we had created our own sports drink that was a little bit more natural, but I haven't done these really long races yet, but the longest I've done is 8 hours around, or CCC was 10 hours. Then I ate a little bit normal food, like once I think like some soup, but otherwise I think that short period, like 7-8 hours, it's fine to just run on sugar, because it's not like I stop anywhere or can eat like to start chewing. That's hard also. I know I tried that in the beginning. It's like, maybe I should have half a bar here, but I can't really chew in a race because I breathe too hard. Like it's too intense. So then it works actually really well to just take sugar, like this quick gels. Like it's not very nice. It's disgusting, but it's in a race. It's not in training, and I can take it, my stomach. But hopefully we're looking at that now in the Moonvalley company to try to develop some better gels, like more natural, and so yeah, it becomes a little bit easier and not so disgusting.
Yeah.
Slime.
Oh, I would definitely like
and
to
I think,
try
yeah, the
Moonvalley
same
gels.
yeah. And I have a story of trying my own thing. Like that was actually my first ultra race, and I didn't know at all. And it was the 90K. I was like, okay, you could put your things like somewhere at some aid stations, and I was like, oh, maybe I make this smoothie. Like, it's pretty good. Like I put some banana, and it's a long race. Maybe it's good with some fat. I put some peanut butter, and then I lose some fluid. So salt is pretty good as well. And I just mixed everything, and it was a warm day, and I came there halfway through, and of course it's disgusting, like a banana peanut salty peanut butter smoothie like growing in your mouth, like so I couldn't stop with those, like doing my own things in the race. It's usually you just want to pick something up quick and put in your bag, and then it's handy when the small package gels.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for Moonvalley to make gels, because judging by the cereal bars and the chocolate and things that I've had so far, they're bound to be delicious. Do you have a favourite Moonvalley nutrition product yourself?
Actually, yeah, the dark chocolate. I like dark chocolate. We have the 85%, and it's really good. But then, I like the endurance fuel a lot as well. It's really nice now in the winter time to make it warm. The black currant one. So I like all of them.
Yeah,
it's good.
That sounds really nice. That blackcurrant endurance fuel to have in a flask for when you come back from a long run. Is that how you guys designed it?
Yeah, or like so during a run as well, a longer run, it's like it's energy. So, but it's I think from the beginning, I mean, it was meant to be cold like you drink, but now in winter time I started to make it hot, and that's super nice when you go skiing or a training, because you don't want to have cold things, and this one works really well warm as well. So that was a good thing.
Fantastic. It was good to try it out hot and cold. So just got time for a couple more questions. So first of all, I just want to ask you if you enjoyed writing the book, and which was your favourite bit to write of the Moonvalley Diaries?
Yeah, it was super nice to be three people writing it, because it's never like, I mean, to write the book by yourself, it feels quite heavy, and now it was always quite light and nice, because we had each like a day for each month, and then we divided, and yes, like, okay, this month we want to talk about the produce. It was beets, or we wanted one race, and we wanted one training tip, and maybe some other tip, and then we just divided the different parts, and so most parts is also signed who wrote it, so you know all of it, because we have the same I think philosophy and flow, but with three different people, and it's so personal, and it doesn't stand for everyone, and then it's nice to know, it's like, okay, who said this, and it was super nice, and also each month to get to read what Emily wrote and what Mimi wrote, because you're always more critical of your own writing, and you're like, I don't know if this is good, who wants to read this, and then I read what they wrote, and I was like, this is super nice. Maybe the combination will be okay, because when we started writing, it was like, we don't know, like, this is so wide, with everything from like making sourdough to peak performance, like taking baths to do yoga. It's like super wide book, but in the end we managed to got it kind of a coherent book anyway, so I think that was a cool process actually.
Yeah, I think it's really nice to read this book, because it's not just about training, and it's not just about nutrition, it's not just about growing things. It's kind of combining everything, and there is no other running book like this, because there's no other running book that that you've all got a farm and that you're all working on as elite athletes. It's really, really lovely, and the illustrations and the photographs are really inspiring as well. So I think it's amazing, and you can get it from the website, can't you? The Moonvalley, the nutrition website, which you can just Google. I think you can find the book there. Is that right, in the shop?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. Yeah. So that's the book. It's amazing. I would definitely recommend you all buy this for Christmas because it's absolutely wonderful. If not just for the amazing knowledge, then just get it and look at the illustrations. Just look at the pictures because they'll inspire you loads. And just a last couple of questions. Tom Avery says, where would you like to run that seems really far away and exciting?
Oh, it's so many places I want to run. Like, actually, like I would love to come, because when I didn't run those years, I was hiking a lot, and hiking in Nepal and also in France. So I think that's the two countries that I would like to go and run one day. South America, I think it's super beautiful. So. That's a lot of places I would like to run.
Yeah. Wait, did you go over to the Golden Trail series in Nepal this year, or did you look at some of the pictures?
No, I didn't. No, yeah, I missed that. I missed the whole season. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks amazing for another year, doesn't it? And so I'm just wondering, a final question just from me, because I get first dibs. Are you ever going to come to the UK, do you think, and do a race over here, or just come to visit? Because it'd be absolutely fantastic to meet you sometime.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Like, it was actually a long time now since I was in UK. Like, it felt like I went over more before, once in a while at least. But there is some really nice races as well. So I think I missed the Glencoe each year in Scotland. But I think it would be nice to do something in the Lake or the Peak District. It's really nice areas, and I will come and do a race or just go training one year.
Yeah, it would be amazing. So have you been to the Lake District and the Peak District before then?
Just shortly, like just very short, like when I was visiting some friends time ago.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, that's fantastic. Well, everybody is really, really thankful to you for coming on tonight. They've been just saying that it's amazing. And so, for example, Helen B says, thank you. That is great to know. Kurt Steege says, that sounds great. And loads of people are saying thank you so much for answering all the questions, and congratulations on the book as well. So I'm sure lots of people are now going to be putting it on their Christmas lists, and I'm sure lots of people are also going to be following you on Instagram to find out what you're going to be aiming for next year, and fingers crossed for that injury to just fully recover.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here tonight, and I wish you a good night.
Lovely. Well, it's been so brilliant to chat to you. Thank you so much for coming on, and and good luck with the book and whatever you decide to write next and your next race.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. See you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.